write about something that you think is funny, and you're like, this is hilarious, and really work on it, really try to figure out a punchline and a setup and a premise, and then just take it to an open mic. And here's the thing, dude, is like 90% of the time, it's not going to go well the first time. If you had fun and you enjoyed doing it, just go back.
All right, Maverick.
Hey, what's going on, man?
So let's talk about your hair, man.
Yeah.
What's working and what's no?
What's working? Usually longer on top, shorter on the sides.
Okay.
Usually get like a fade, but like a lower fade. But I don't know. Last haircut I got, the guy went way too high, looked crazy.
What was it that you don't like about the high fade?
I don't know, man. I look like a cop. I just look like I'm going to be giving tickets out and stuff. So I usually like a
low fade.
Yeah, right, mid fade usually, right here.
Yeah,
right above.
Your head rounds higher up and through here. So you take it too high, your head starts getting more reddish.
Yeah.
By keeping this tighter and lower before it starts to round out right here. That would give you more squareness, which you probably would like.
Yeah.
What are you doing here on top?
I usually just throw a little bit of pomade in it, and then
you ever blow dry it?
Sometimes.
I don't blow dry it. I'm just gonna 20 questions,
just like this. I just go like that. Like that. Yeah. I grew up with a couple sisters and a mom, so I was like, I don't know really how to blow dry, but I've seen it done.
So when you use your blow dryer, do you use a brush at all?
No.
Would you be willing to use a brush?
Sure.
I'm gonna show you a styling technique.
Okay.
Let me get to the point. Cool. All you need is to have the brush. The dryer for you and your length of hair. Okay. You could just use the one that they have at a hotel. You don't need pro level.
Right.
You need the dryer. What matters more are two things. One, having the right tool. The second thing is the right technique.
Okay.
So if you look at hair dryers and hair brushes as tools, like I've always thought if Makita and DeWalt and Milwaukee and Home Depot made hair dryers, guys would be more apt to use them.
Oh yeah.
They'd be like, oh, it's a tool.
Dude, I'd have a DeWalt hair dryer.
Oh, dude.
In a second. Yeah. Wait 1 second. Oh, the battery's dead. Hold on.
Yes. Yeah. It'd be like a 40-pound blow dryer, but it'd be quarter.
But the second a buddy come over, he goes, you got a hair dryer? You're like, yeah. And he come over, got a fucking DeWalt hair dryer, dude. Milwaukee works way better.
Oh, I know.
Guys like, I've run over. You're like, shut up, Tom.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, dude, you're poor. Nobody likes you, dude.
All right, well, let's start on this, man.
All right, man.
So one of the things I was thinking when I'm looking at your face is I actually think having maybe this not so long.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking it's going to go flatter.
Yeah.
But I think getting it styled up so that way you have some height out here. Because when I start seeing at your face, if we square this off and we get this a little bit higher, I think the proportions are going to feel nice.
Yeah, that sounds great. Dude, just get in there.
I actually don't think I'm actually going to take much off and through here.
Cool.
And I actually think it just is going to be kind of I've got a little bit more of a cleanup and through here.
Yeah. Would you be interested in maybe trimming up the beard too? I've never been a mustache guy, but I'm starting to really like them. And I think I got a good one going. So,
yeah.
I mean, man, maybe just take this down with the clippers and then just kind of leave the mustache, shape it up. I don't know how to trim it though. That's a crazy blur.
Clippers are probably your best bet. I like clippers over the facial clippers.
Oh, really?
They're stronger.
Okay.
Here's the other thing. I'm used to it because I would always have these in the salon. I used to have a little one for your face, but I felt that the blades got dull faster.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think the motor that moves it is just nearly as strong as these guys. And I know these blades are a lot sharper.
Cool.
I just say, look, pick up a pair of clippers, find the guard, and then this is your tension lever, right?
Right.
And that just makes it go, open to close. That just helps adjust those things. So it's not quite a 1. Oh, it's a 1 open. So you push this down, and it opens up that space. It's not actually a 1.5. Because that's actually a guard number. A 1.5 is actually a completely different, guard. So if you're like, oh, it's a 1.5, I'm like, I don't trust people when they say it.
Oh, yeah, I've walked into barbershops. I'm like, yeah, can I get a 1 on the side? And I'm like, this is definitely a 0. What are you doing?
That's the other thing. Not all clippers are the same. Years ago, I was putting together a men's haircutting course, and it came down to the part of the course where we had to have clippers. And what I realized is that if you look at this, is it says 1/8, right? But it has 3 millimeters and it has 1.
Yeah.
The one thing I could do is I realized every clipper, may it be Wall or Oster or Andis, they all have the millimeters, but their one was a different millimeter.
Oh, wow.
Than this one.
That's weird. It's not like a standard.
No, it's not standard. And like with Andis, there's a clipper called like a Masters. That is a 0 to 1 without a guard.
Yeah.
Something like that.
They're pretty good.
They're great, but I'm saying like you go from 0 to 1.
Right.
But if you put a 1 guard on them, that's going to be thicker than this one.
I was just saying, I love their golf tournament. It's the best, dude.
Andis? A-N-D-I-S?
I thought they said Masters.
Oh, no. Masters is a type of particular model by that'd be like a Camry by Toyota.
Right.
What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try and do this with scissors and try and get this going first.
Cool.
And then anything that I need from here on out, shorter, I'll use here.
That's all right.
Old habits die hard for me. I can't just like not clipper cut, not scissor cut. Like the salon I was at where I learned how to like early cut hair, they wouldn't really allow clippers because their whole idea was like a monkey could just go through a clipper.
Sure.
Like use your opposable thumb. Yeah, the thing. Like they literally would say that sometimes. You know, if you're charging, your men's haircutting price is starting at like $55. Yeah, they were like, we're not offering clippers. Now this is back like in 20 years ago, $55 for a men's haircut was like absurd to a lot of people.
Right. Yeah.
The point was that we didn't do any clippers. It was all scissor work. So when the haircuts got shorter and shorter and shorter, at some point we had to give in to like, fuck it. Like I'm using the clippers. Yeah. We only use the clippers when our scissors and the cone couldn't get any shorter.
Makes a lot of sense. You know, it's funny, dude, you're explaining all this stuff to me and it's a lot like when I do like, I've worked construction for a long time. Yeah. And like, I've worked on like mechanic, worked on cars and stuff. So when a buddy brings me their car and I can tell they're not like mechanically inclined, I'm like, yeah, dude, your alternator is doing this thing where it's not drawing enough power from the battery and it's not actually recharging the battery at all, and they're like, yeah, no.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what the battery's always.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, but see what... It's actually a grounding issue. See, the funny thing about an alternator, and they're just like,
Indirectly, I met you through Ben.
Right.
Because Ben introduced me to Dean.
Right.
And then you and Dean are homies.
Yeah.
And we met at, the Cave?
The Creek in the Cave.
Creek and Cave.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Creek and Cave is a comedy club here in Austin.
Oh, it's great.
I do the same way I break the fourth wall where I want to let people know something very specific, like this is what's going on. That was my first comedy club experience in Austin. I've never had a longer conversation with a comedian outside of like a meet and greet sort of situation.
Yeah.
So like actually being able to like talk to somebody who does this.
Right.
I'm finding this really fascinating.
Yeah.
You have to have either like a lot of balls to go up there on the stage.
Yeah.
Or no brain. You're like, fuck it. Yeah, it's bad. People are like, dude, that's like, aren't you scared? And like the fact of not being scared is like the no brain. Like I'm not even thinking about it. Well, it could happen. And that's where the balls come in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think there's a disconnect because like, I can't do karaoke. I'm not a karaoke guy.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I love karaoke.
Dude, hate karaoke. I feel so...
You're going to take me to an open mic night and I'm going to fail miserably.
Dude.
And then we're going immediately to do karaoke. Dude, don't make happy and you miserable.
Oh, make me do this. Dude, that is like my worst nightmare is like, cause I've done karaoke before and I'm like, yeah, I hate this, dude. I don't know what is the difference really, but like, because I think when you do karaoke, you're like, oh, this is how the song should sound. You know what I mean? And then you do it and they're like, that sounds nothing like Mariah Carey. And then,
well, that's the problem first off. Don't ever deviate from that song ever.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to first say, no, I don't want to do it.
Right.
No, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Enough times where people keep pushing you and you go, well, hey, if they have this, maybe I'll consider it.
Right.
And they go, oh, we have this. You go, I don't know. Well, if you guys are going to buy me a drink, then I probably will do it.
Right.
So then you get a free drink out of this, right? Yeah. And then they go, here's the drink.
Right.
And then you go, okay. Fine. So you already know what song you're going to do, and you know you're going to do it well enough.
Yeah.
And you can go up there with confidence.
All right. What's your song?
Digital Underground's The Humpty Dance.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I've known the lyrics of that since I was 7 years old. I'm 41. I can do that sober, blackout, drunk, 3 sheets to the wind.
Yeah.
Probably like on life support. I would be able to do that.
It's a great song too. I love that song.
It's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah. It was one of Tupac's first like groups. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun thing is people like to get up there and dance to it sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a little entourage.
Right. And it's like, and that's like a good move is like fun songs that they can like dance to.
Yes. I can do the vocals quite well to some Pantera song.
Oh yeah.
Not really karaoke material.
Right.
In places where, you're going to have like somebody doing the Frank Sinatra song.
Yeah.
You're going to have somebody doing the Miley Cyrus song. And then I would come up doing Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah, exactly.
It ruins the vibe.
Honestly, dude, after that first cut, I look like I'm running for Congress in the South. I don't know why. I'm Maverick McWilliams. Do you want to keep them out of our towns? Me too. God, that's what they said it, not me, dude.
That reminds me of that one movie with Zach Galifianakis.
The campaign,
yeah,
dude. I'm Congressman Cam Brady, dude. I honestly think that's one of Will Ferrell's funniest roles. Is that movie, dude? It's the best.
I don't disagree that it's not a funny role.
Yeah,
I think what I love is his character and the other guys.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Mark Wahlberg. Like Mark Wahlberg's reaction to Gator.
Gator's bitches better be wearing Jimmy's, dude.
That whole thing was just like,
dude, it's hilarious, dude. My family, big movie family. We love quoting movies and stuff. So, dude, my dad will say that to me all the time. He's like, Gator's bitches better be wearing Jimmy's. I'm like, yeah, Dad. So what got you into... hairdressing
was dating this girl, and on Halloween, I was just helping her style her hair, and it just seemed like something fun.
Yeah.
And that was it. It literally, everything I do in life is based off of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is fun. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be something to do until my band got signed. My band was getting somewhere, and then the band broke up. But I stuck with hair, and I had made a few connections in the music industry. So it was very, very, think about it. I'm like 22 at this time, and I'm friends with some of these people that are more well-known. And I just asked them, hey, when you guys come into town, if you need your haircut, let me know. And that's what happened. And thankfully, being a hairdresser or hair cutter or whatever, it's been really a fun thing because you get to meet a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So for somebody who gets bored with redundancy, it's like, I'm cutting hair. So like, that's the only redundant thing is that I'm cutting hair, but I'm not doing the same haircut.
Right.
I'm not interacting with the same person, right? So like,
oh yeah,
every day is every 45 minutes or every hour, depending on the booking schedule, is a whole new experience.
That's cool.
For somebody like me who can get bored easily, it's never boring.
Right.
And there's always a new challenge. So every client, there's a new challenge.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, my hair's not laying right for this. I'm not getting enough volume for this. And I like sharing and teaching. So then I got into teaching. So that's how I got into that.
That's cool, man.
But
man, you got great hair too. Look at you. It's like a little lion's mane, dude.
I try, man.
You got a Pauly Shore thing going, dude. I love it.
Pauly Shore's hysterical.
Dude, he
was the best in spring break stuff with back in the 90s.
Oh, like MTV Spring Break? Yeah, he was hilarious back then.
Oh, yeah, it's great. So how did you get into comedy?
Man, the judge was like, hey, dude, you either get into open mic comedy or you're going to jail.
Open mic comedy or karaoke?
Yeah, I was like, go on comedy. Yeah, man, I started when I was like 19. I'm 26 now. Man, I don't know. It's just, I've always been funnier. If you want the real story, when I was
the real story.
Okay, so
I don't want no bullshit story. I want the real story.
So as you can see now, I'm a very handsome man, very good looking, charismatic, but I wasn't always like this. I was an ugly child. All right. I was loud, I was annoying. Girls didn't like me. And I asked my dad one day, I was like, hey dad, how do you get girls to like you? And he's like, well, if you make them laugh, you're in. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
So when I was in my single years, I was doing like a poll.
Yeah.
I'd ask clients. I would never hit on it, but I would ask clients, what is it that you find attractive?
Humor, always.
Humor was, it's like if we were on Family Feud, it's humor, and it was like top 3.
Yeah. It's like humor, height, good job, or humor, height, being nice. Or humor's always in
the top 3.
Right.
After humor comes whatever the particular thing is to that person. Like, right. General answer was humor.
Yeah. It was a great advice from my dad. So I started like, okay, well, I got to figure out how to be funny. So I would just like
elaborate how to be funny.
Yeah. I'm like praying to God. I'm like going to catechism. I'm like, God, how do you be funny? He's like, I'll tell you for a price. So I started kind of just regurgitating stuff I heard on, like movies and stuff. And it got like good laughs. And I've always been kind of like a character, you know what I mean? And
Like the class clown?
like a ham, you know what I mean? And man, I really liked it. And then when I was 10, I saw a comedy special, and it wasn't like anything else I've ever seen before. I was like,
Who was it?
it was Dane Cook, Vicious Circle.
Okay, I lived in LA
Yeah.
when he was testing those jokes out.
No shit.
Yeah. So I got to watch him and that's when I got introduced to Daniel Tosh
Oh yeah, Tosh is great.
before he had his show.
Yeah.
Barely just had released that comedy special CD.
Yeah.
Like the Insights, True Stories I Made Up or something like that.
Yeah.
He was there. I remember I saw Tom Papa.
Papa's great.
His whole thing about like, why does he need to go to Mardi Gras?
Right.
Oh, that was hysterical.
He's a killer.
Great. Yeah. And there's a slew of them. And so for $10 every Tuesday
Yeah.
at the Laugh Factory,
Yeah.
and you could show up, but I forget the guy who put it on. He was part of that documentary Dane Cook travel comedian show.
Yeah.
One of the guys, I'm blanking on his name, but you would go through an RSVP through MySpace
Yes, dude.
to get your ticket.
Yeah.
And so it went from like my cousin and I to like 2 people to like 4 to 6. And next thing you know, it was like 20 of us every week. And Dane Cook to the point was like, you guys again?
Yeah.
From the stage, we're here for the openers. And he was like, I would too. I think he's doing something with Twitch and video games.
Yeah, so he's certainly like, dude, he's always been a gamer. Like he was making references to Halo back in Vicious Circle. So he's always been a gamer. But yeah, now he's doing like a Twitch thing. And I didn't see his most recent stand-up special, but I heard it's really good. But so anyway, so I was like,
Came out in those early 2000s.
dude, rush. He was what Chappelle is now. It's insane. So it was like 2006, and I saw Vicious Circle, and I was actually supposed to be in bed, and I got up, and I was like, I'm from a tiny town in New Mexico, so like my dad was watching it, and he was like he's cracking up. I was like, Dad, what are you watching? He's like, dude, you gotta watch this. Come here, I was 10 years old, dude. And I'm just listening to Dane Cook talking about his like massive cock and shit. Like, yeah, dude. And you're like, what? I'm like, what? I was like, yeah, that was the thing. I was like, whoa, how is this guy saying this stuff on TV and everyone's loving it? And I was like, Dad, what is this guy doing? And he's like, he's a comedian. And I was like, what is that? He was like, yeah, it's just, he just tells jokes for a living. I was like, that's his job? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, I'm all in. And I think the next week I told the ladies in the front office, they're like, what do you want to be when you grow up, Maverick? I'm like, I want to be a comedian. And I talked about it for years, man. And then when I was like 18, I dropped out of college. My rodeo career ended. I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? So I moved to Oklahoma for a little bit with my dad. And I said something funny in the car one day. And my dad was like, that's funny. And I was like, man, I got to add that to my stand-up routine. And he got kind of quiet for a minute. And I was like, what's wrong? And he goes, dude, I've been talking about doing stand-up for so long. You either need to do it or just shut the fuck up about it.
The old
shit or get off the pod, dude.
like everybody in someone's life has that moment.
Exactly.
And it's usually like the dad or the uncle.
Right.
Or like
the best friend.
the grandpa.
It's like that scene from Good Will Hunting when Matt Damon is telling Ben Affleck, he's like, yeah, we're gonna be 50 and I'm gonna be taking our kids to the park. And he goes, yeah, listen, if you're here when you're 50, I'll fucking kill you. He's like, get out of here, dude. Yeah, so my dad definitely gave me that Ben Affleck speech. The next day I found an open mic in Tulsa, which was like 3 hours round trip away from me. Actually, it was it's more like 6 hours. So it was 3 hours there, 3 hours back. Called. They were like, yeah, man, we'll get you on. My dad drove me to my first open mic and I did pretty good. And then I didn't do it again for like 6 months.
Why?
I was going through a really weird, shitty breakup at the time. It was my first real heartbreak breakup,
How old are you at this time?
19.
I remember my first adult heartache was 19.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. We're the same person. That's insane.
I'm just older.
No, dude, I'm 41.
All right, so I'm gonna get you back.
Yeah, I moved back to Albuquerque where I'm from originally. And, just still kind of going through the heartbreak and stuff. My dad's like, you should find an open mic. And I'm like, Dad, there's no open mics in Albuquerque. And he goes, trust me, I bet there is. He goes, Google it. I'm like, Dad, no. And he goes, I'll fucking Google it for you. I was like, I'll Google it. Sure enough, dude, there's a few open mics in Albuquerque. And I started doing mics there and got pretty good pretty fast because it's such a small scene.
You're like the big fish in the small pond.
Kinda. And dude, it was to the point where I was getting booked on shows, but I couldn't be at the show.
Why?
Because I was 20, 19 around there. Well, they're in bars.
You can be the performer.
Well, it's kind of weird.
So I remember not being even 18.
Yeah.
definitely bars.
Well, in
LA.
New Mexico, it's up to the place's discretion. It's like if they want to or not. And some places were cool, and some places were like, yeah, come on in, whatever. We don't give a shit. If we catch you drinking, we're gonna kick you out.
It's always the rule.
But there was some places that were like, yeah, man, we can't let you in here. We'll tell you what, we'll let you come in here and do your set, and then you got to leave. And I was like, all right. So I did that a lot. After a few years, I was like, one day I got hit up for a booking. Like a few hours later, I got hit up for another booking, and then the next day I got hit up for another booking, and I was like. And I was telling somebody about it, and they're like, dude, that's awesome. And I was like, yeah, but I've done all these shows before, like a couple of times, and it's like, man, if I want to see what's going to happen with this, I got to get out of here. And I was in the middle of my apprenticeship for welding and pipe fitting at the time. So I was like, man, I need to go to a place where I can continue this apprenticeship, but not, and also go to a bigger comedy scene. And Oklahoma City was that for me. And my dad lived there too. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going back to Oklahoma. It's not bad. It's better than Albuquerque. They have a really good club there. I moved there, and a couple years in, I'm doing great. Things are going good. COVID happens, yada, yada, yada. Then it comes back. I was getting towards the end of my apprenticeship, and I was like, man, I need to get out of here. I need to go somewhere. Back in the day, it was you would either go to one of the coasts. You'd go to LA or New York. And there's a saying in comedy, it's like, you go to New York to get good, you go to LA to get famous.
Okay.
Yeah. They say that because in LA, a lot of people would go there to get like
Scripts.
Yeah, scripts, or they go there to be like a comedian and an actor, and
Seinfeld.
Yeah, they went. Well, yeah, but
Seinfeld.
Well, Seinfeld's definitely a New York guy. So then you go to
Filmed everything in LA.
Yeah, but like Seinfeld, like actually, Jerry was like, he's a New York dude to his core, right?
He earned his stripes in New York,
right?
And said, all right,
yeah,
we're doing it.
But just from like a comedy aspect, like if you go to New York, like it's a thing. Like if you make it in New York, you're going to be a really good comic. You know what I mean? So it's like you're doing so many spots. It's so competitive. Like nobody gives a shit about you. You're not going to get a fucking sitcom. You're just going to be a good comic, right?
Got it.
And then if you go to LA, you might go up at the Laugh Factory, have a really good set, and a casting director might be like, hey, dude, you're kind of perfect for this role. Do you want to come? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like that shit almost never happens in New York. That's like the old trope in comedy. I was like, well, Austin's kind of kicking off. I don't think I'm a New York guy or an LA guy. I used to live in LA for a little bit when I was younger. I was a child actor when I was like 10, 11, around there. I started going to high school and going, meeting like friends and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I don't think it's, my parents got divorced. I was like, I don't know if I should go back. But man, I was really happy with like kind of where I was. And I was like, yeah, I tried it. It was whatever. I mean, I've always been more of like I think just comedy has always been kind of more of my thing. But so I was dating this girl in Oklahoma, and we were, everything was like cool between us. And then I was like, hey man, I want to move to Austin. And she was like, well, that's not really in my, I can't really do that right now. And I kind of had to just pick and choose. And I was like, I'm moving to Austin. Moved down here, man. And it's been going really well. And I've been, getting on at the clubs, which is really grateful for all that. And
because the night I met you, we were going to go play at Mothership.
Yeah. So
it's called Mothership. What's the name of it?
So it's the Comedy Mothership. Is the full name of the club. I got here in December
of 2022.
Of this last December, like 4 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I just feel really blessed that I'm like, man, I've already gotten booked at like Mothership for the roast battle there, at the Creek. I've done some stuff in Vulcan. I feel like I'm on pretty good track for only being here for like 4 months. You know what I mean? And I feel like I've been doing pretty well, but that's kind of my comedy journey. And then there's a couple of headliners, kind of bigger headliners I've worked with that were really cool. And one of them kind of lets me go on the road with him, and
that's cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, he's a great dude, man. He's really cool. You ever heard of a guy named Dave Chappelle?
Yeah, I've heard of Dave Chappelle.
Well, it's Josh Wolf. That's on the road. Oh man, no, yeah, dude. Josh is the shit, dude. He's a good dude.
Awesome.
Yeah, he just did the Nashville Comedy Festival this weekend or whatever.
What's that Moon Tower thing going on? Is it still going on? Right?
Yeah, Moon Tower's going on right now.
I know there was a Moon Tower, because it's also referenced in Dazed and Confused.
Yeah. Party at the Moon Tower, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also this week is, so it's funny because there's the Moon Tower thing that I think is ending this week. Right? Next week is the Classic Car and Hot Rod Show.
Oh, no shit.
Lone Star Roundup.
Wow.
So tomorrow on the 20th at Top Notch, which is the burger joint from Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
They're like, show up in your '70s car, and they're screen printing shirts, and they actually have like the cricket bats from the movie.
Yeah, dude.
And so like this week is the lead up to the big
Dude, I love
art thing. So you said Moon Tower,
yeah,
making me think of Dazed and Confused.
Dude, I love this town. There's always something cool to do here.
You know, Office Space was filmed here.
Yeah, dude.
The electronics building that they all worked in that burns down.
Yeah,
is like off of 35 and like Ben White.
No shit. That's crazy. Yeah, dude. I know Office Space was here. That Dazed and Confused was here, and I don't know, dude. I'm really happy that I moved here, dude. It's a really cool place, man. And I mean, just there's always something to do. There's always and such cool people.
So how'd you meet Dean? Or is it through the whole comedy thing?
Yeah, well, when two rednecks are just in proximity, we were like, you're like NASCAR, chewing tobacco. Give me a hug, brother. So the club. So you have a salon you started at, right?
Yeah.
Is that would you call that like your home salon?
Yeah, I mean, I think like it's hard to say. So there's like in my particular career journey, I started off at a small little salon in the town that I graduated high school from. It's like a smaller town in Southern California. But I knew I didn't belong there.
Yeah.
So I knew I didn't belong. And so I set my sights to the two top educational salon companies that are the largest in the world.
Okay.
So it was Vidal Sassoon and Tony and Guy.
Yeah.
And like it should have it, I got accepted at both those salons. And so like I call Tony and Guy like my first real salon. To me, that was like my home salon. Like everything for me is like reference to that. I would imagine that like the first salon I worked in would have been like probably, I'm imagining of the comedy comparison. It'd be like you're going into these like stand up open mic nights.
Yeah.
Going, I like this.
Right.
But I need more.
Yeah. So what I was getting at is like comics have what's called their home club.
Okay.
And the home club is the club they started in.
Okay.
So like my home club is Bricktown Comedy Club in Oklahoma City. It's like it was like the first club to pass me as a host. It was, it's where I've gotten most of my work from. I was in there one night watching a show and Dean was in there and I was like, hey man. And I was like, hey, do you know so-and-so? And he goes, yeah. I was like, oh, I know so-and-so. And then we kind of just started talking and he was like, hey dude, you should come down to Austin and check it out. And I was like, yeah, dude. So I went down a few weeks later, I hopped on a couple shows. I really had a good time. I met a few people. And I also knew some comics that were down here.
Yeah.
And I was thinking either between here or Denver or Nashville. And even up until like a few months before I like decided to move here, I was like, God dang, I just don't know where to go, And then I came down for another trip, dude. And that second trip, I was really like, yeah, dude, this is the place for me. I'm coming down. I'm coming here.
This whole thing is relatively still fresh.
Yeah. I'm
not fresh at you.
I just got out of the first quarter, you know what I'm saying, of this year.
You're fresh in Austin.
Right, exactly.
That's cool. I was telling somebody about, somebody was asking me like who I've had on for like, as guests on what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. It's really cool because I think everybody thought I was going to interview hairdressers. Yeah. I was like, I don't want a hairdresser circle jerk. I don't like, that's boring to me. Right. The most exciting part of my job is having, like I told you, different people.
Yeah.
All throughout the day.
Right.
I kind of want to recreate different people, different episode, right? Like no consistency.
Yeah.
The only thing that's consistent is conversations in here.
Right.
I was telling somebody how I'm like, yeah, I kind of stumbled into getting to know some of these comedians that are, I don't know, like collectively, right?
Yeah.
Between the three of you that I've met now, or like all at different various stages,
right?
Getting your name, more known, in the area. And I think it's fun because it reminds me so much of like the late 90s, early 2000s when I was playing up in LA, where like you start to get to know the different bands.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you got to go see that band.
Yeah.
That band's fucking awesome. It reminds me of that. And the spirit of support.
Oh yeah, dude.
Just seeing that interaction, how everybody was like supporting each other. Everybody was hanging out before.
Oh yeah, dude. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to move here is because like I've been to Denver and I've been to these other scenes and it's like the hang, like dude, you hear comics talk about the hang a lot.
Yeah.
And literally, dude, it's one of the best parts about comedy is getting to hang out with your buddies. And dude, just the hang here was fucking awesome. Like, it's, you'd do a set, you'd go outside, you'd smoke a cigarette, you'd have a beer, like smoke a joint, doesn't matter, right? And you're just like, chilling with your friends and dude, you're always laughing and always having a good time. It's always fun. Dude, I've heard horror stories from LA of like, just people are fucking cocksuckers to each other. And it's just like, You know, and then in New York, everyone's like, if you have to be there for like 2 years before you start being like, feel like welcome. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like you have to wait till the next crop of people to come in, and then you got to be mean to that.
It's like up the freshman class.
Yeah, dude. But you fucking,
when you're a junior.
yeah, right. For real, man. It's, but none of that shit's here, dude. Here, you'll be hanging out and you'll be hanging out with a dude who's like, yeah, dude, I got like a tour coming up. I'm really trying to, work on this tour. And like other person's like, yeah, man, I got to go to a bunch of open mics this week. And it's just like, yeah, it's like, there's like a dude who's like a small headliner, like just hanging out with like an open micer. And it's cool because it's like, yeah, as long as you're a cool dude and you're not like a weirdo, like that's what it's all about here. And it's a good time, dude.
So like if somebody wanted to like get into this, like I've always said and believe that you don't have to be at the very top to help someone get into something. No, you don't have to have a PhD to help somebody with kindergarten. But if somebody's like watching this and they're like, I'm always kind of the life of the party.
Yeah.
Make everybody laugh. What would be like the first step you would recommend for somebody to do if they wanted to like
get into stand up?
Yeah, or just give it a shot.
Just don't. You know what I mean? Just fucking don't, dude.
Just don't do it.
Me and this comic, Allison Wojcicki, she was, we were talking the other day and we were like, dude, following your dreams fucking sucks. It's so fucking lame, dude.
Why?
It's like the struggle, like this, it's like hard and shit like that. Like, you hear about people talking about like, when I was coming up, I was sleeping on couches and all this shit. And you're like, yeah, that's cool to look back on when you're in a California king. But when you're in the I'm sleeping in couches phase, it's like, you're like, fuck, dude, what am I doing? You know what I mean? If I had to give any advice to somebody who like truly wants to just see if there's anything, if this is like something they want to pursue, is like write about something that you think is funny, and you're like, this is hilarious, and really work on it, really try to figure out a punchline and a setup and a premise. And then just take it to an open mic. And here's the thing, dude, is like 90% of the time, it's not going to go well the first time. If you had fun and you enjoyed doing it, just go back, see how long you can do it for. A lot of people, everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be famous now. Like sometimes you just got to do it just to have fun, dude. Like you said, like you do mostly everything for,
I choose on fun. You know why?
Why?
We pick things because something miserable.
Right.
And then something miserable happens.
Yeah.
And then you're like, this is the dumbest thing ever.
Like, what the fuck am I doing, man?
Yeah.
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 Like going back to like what me and Allison were talking about is like, it's like following your dreams is awesome. It's a really cool thing. Yeah. And 90% of the people in the world will never do it. You never even give it a shot. Don't get me wrong, dude. I fucking love comedy. It's one of my favorite things in the world. There's just like so much that goes into it sometimes that you're like, dude, it's like the more the businessy stuff, like the fucking gotta rub elbows. If it was just stand up, I'd be like, oh, this is the shit.
It's all the other stuff.
It's all the other stuff that comes along with the job. You know what I mean?
As a hairdresser, you're not just expected to cut hair, color hair, and style.
Right.
Put hair up and updos. You're also expected now to be a videographer. You're also expected to be like a photographer.
Yeah.
A social media PR machine.
Yeah.
There's so many more components now.
Right.
As a hairdresser, like when I went to school, it was like, look,
yeah,
you want to be busy, you knock on doors, you hand business cards, you try and get your server or bartender to like if you knew somebody and like the attractive barista, bartender, let me do your hair for free. Because they're seeing so many people.
Right.
Now it's like, you don't even have to even do that. You just hit the right Instagram post.
Yeah.
You can be busy. And I think that that can happen. But like the reality of that happening, hitting that bullseye and splitting the arrow over and over again is probably like most believable. But I feel like there's like this whole new set of stuff that as a hairdresser, we have to have to quote, be successful.
Right.
So what I'm wondering is like talking to comedians who've maybe been in the game longer.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys finding that this social media thing is like, you not only get to tell jokes.
Yeah.
Now you have to do what?
Like, let me put it to you this way. Like Rogan, Segura, all these guys back in the day, they only had to worry about writing jokes, getting booked. They didn't have to worry about putting out content and doing all this shit. And like, And a lot of comics don't do that either. But the thing is like, that's the nature of the beast nowadays. You have to film your sets. You have to put it on YouTube. You have to put it on Instagram, Facebook, all this stuff. You have to try to get views, try to get likes, because the more views and likes you get, the more followers you get. The more followers you get, the more tickets you can sell. The more tickets you sell, the fucking faster you can start working in clubs. And then, boom, you become like an overnight success.
Vidal Sassoon, when he got no for like this one haircut,
Yeah.
his quote is like, it took 9 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah, dude, that's one of the best quotes ever.
No one sees
Right.
the grind.
Yeah, nobody's, yeah,
No, the grind is like the most interesting part to me.
right. Like people will see a comic on Instagram. They'll see an Instagram reel and they're like, oh, this dude's funny.
Yeah.
And then they'll go watch his other videos like, oh my God, this guy's really funny. I'm going to follow him. And they followed him and they're like, oh wait, this guy's on tour? Where's he? And like, let's say they live in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So they're like, oh my God, this guy's going to be at Zany's in Nashville in 2 months. I'm going to buy tickets for it. I want to see him live. And that's how it works. But they don't understand that dude probably had to get to the club, set up his camera, make sure his mic's good, make sure all this stuff's good. On top of writing all those jokes, performing, getting booked. He had to take that film home, edit it, put it online, get the sound right, get the clips right, post it on the right day, all that shit, just so he can sell one ticket at a club once a year. That's insane to me. Back in the day, you just went on like a late night show.
Late night shows were social media.
That's it.
That was it.
Yeah.
It was Carson.
Right. It was Carson. It was, it was all these, Merv Griffin, all these shows. Yeah. Letterman. Yeah. And then you go on there a few times and then someone's like, oh, I've seen this guy a few times. He's really good.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what? I'm going to see if he's coming out to the Yuck Yuck Hut anytime soon. And you call down and they're like, yeah, he's coming in August. And I'm like, cool. I'd like to buy a ticket, and then boom. It's the same thing, but it's different because back in the day, I feel like they had a lot of people doing it for them. And now comics, we're not waiting for people to do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I've always felt that comedians are kind of always like they never had the same support structure like an actor or a singer or band would have.
That's why a lot of us are because I've met a lot of actors and stuff like that, working in Hollywood and stuff. Dude, you probably know this. You probably met quite a few, huh? And
I've met my fair share.
Dude, I've met a lot of really good comedians too. And it's actors and stuff it's there's almost a fakeness to them, right? You're is this really what they're doing? Is this really who they are? But you meet a comic and you're like, oh, there's this dude that's 100% like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. I think I've been pretty fortunate. Most people I've met are pretty authentic. I didn't feel like there was a huge separation between the person you think they are on the screen or on the stage and then when you meet them.
Yeah.
Very aware to not put this fantasy of how cool they're going to be.
Right.
Because that has happened before.
Yeah.
And it was a total letdown.
Oh yeah. It's the worst. When you're this guy's going to be so cool. And you're oh, this guy kind of sucks, dude.
Yeah. I just remember oh my God, she's not that awesome. It was so mean. It was an actress. I'm not going to say who. I'll tell you later.
Just bleep her name out.
No. The story about it was actually really funny.
Can you tell me the story without telling me her name?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was at a concert and the band I was friends with was headlining the venue. And this is a prominent venue in LA. So there was an area, if you had a VIP pass, you can go in and it's a bar, but it's guarded off, right?
Yeah.
I'll just say some of the people who were hanging out there.
Okay.
Right? Jared Leto was there.
Oh, wow.
McGrath was there. Tons of other rock stars. Cast members from Saturday Night Live were there. Pre-cell phone.
Yeah.
Cameras. We have the disposable things. And we are taking this photo and this actress bumps into us, which is totally fine.
Yeah, totally fine. Accident.
And we're jump at the photo. Because we're not general population. We're in the secluded.
Right.
VIP.
We're in the group.
We're in the circle somehow. She just happened to just be quite rude about it.
Oh, yeah.
I was 19 at the time, so I didn't have any self-control. I just basically was really rude about it.
That's the fucking best, dude.
Me saying a few things, dropping a canteen of water.
I know, right?
I hope it's a 32 ounce of a cocktail and not water's this is the world's largest margarita.
It's actually all horse semen. I'm trying to bulk right now. It's 80% protein from what I heard.
And after that, every time I see movies with her in it.
Yeah.
And she always plays the nicest.
Oh, yeah.
I was sitting in these movies. I could have caught her on a bad day.
Yeah.
Bad days happen. So I'm not saying she's this character is like this all the time.
Right.
in that one instant, like I was telling somebody earlier, like I was at a resort and Hugh Jackman was,
Oh, cool.
and people were coming up to Hugh Jackman, and Hugh Jackman was refusing to sign photos, sign autographs, take photos. And he was really polite about it. It's like, and he, he's like, I'm so sorry.
Right.
I'm here with my family.
Yeah.
It's my family time. I hope you please respect that this is our vacation.
Yeah.
If it was just me, I'd be fine. But so polite about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The interaction saw of Hugh Jackman, phenomenal. They're great, like textbook example of how to handle, fans. And then in this instance, it wasn't like we were hounding this actress and she like, bumped into them.
Yeah.
Like, we're all doing the selfie photo. Yeah. The early 2000s, late 90s.
Right.
Which we still do with the camera.
Yeah.
Now it's a film one. She just happened to pop in on us. We're like, wow. And move us. We're like, hey, jump in the photo.
Yeah.
It was harmless.
Right.
And after that whole instance, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Like, I am just going to assume everyone's not that awesome. And if they're mediocre, cool.
Right. Man, that's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
It's funny that you bring that up is because, like, fame is so relative now. Like, in the early 2000s, fame was fame. Everybody knew who you were. Like, you're on the cover of a magazine, like, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, now it's like, oh, this dude's famous. And you're like, for what? Like, oh, he has a podcast. And you're like, oh, yeah, what, is it good? I haven't heard it. Like, you've never heard this dude's podcast? I'm like, oh, you mean that 1 in 1 million podcast?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, right. I've worked with dudes where I'm like, hey man, what's your name? And they tell me, I'm like, oh, really nice to meet you. And then they're like really cool dudes. And then I'll like, hey, let's follow each other on Instagram. I'm like, all right, cool. And then you follow them, you're like, oh, like 2 million followers. Yeah, dude. Like that's what happened to me and like Matt Rife.
I don't know who Matt Rife is.
See, first time I ever came to, so Matt, okay, first of all, if any of you guys are ever out and about and you can get tickets to Matt's show, go see him. He's an absolutely fantastic comedian. I mean, we're not like super great friends, but like I helped him in his feature move one time. And like me and his feature are way better friends. But I was at the Creek in the Cave and I was about to go on stage, and at the Creek, there's like the stage and then a little side room and then a green room, right? Mm-hmm. So me and him were in the side room. It was like he was going to go up and then I was going to go up, or vice versa. And we're just sitting there shooting the shit, right? Waiting to go up on stage. And, he was, it was really fun. And then he was like, hey, man, let's follow each other. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, yeah, here's my Instagram. And he was, all right, cool, I followed you. I was like, all right, cool, I'll follow you back. And then I go on stage, and when I come off, I was like, oh, I got to follow that guy. And I get off stage, and I'm like, oh, this dude's got 1.2 million followers.
Does he?
It was like,
so my joke was correct.
Yeah. When you said 1.2, I was like, no, this dude really knows Matt's shit, dude.
I do this all the time. Like, I'll make the most, what I think is an absurd, unbelievable, unrealistic comment.
Yeah.
And it's always right. And most of the time, it's something that I just like want to like sink in and go, I can't believe I said that. And it's actually true.
Yeah, right.
Like I was like saying, I'm an idiot for saying it. I should have kept that in.
Dude, one time my best friend started dating another really good friend of mine. Yeah. And they called me and they were like, Mav, what's going on? And I was like, what's going on, guys? Like, we have something to tell you. I was like, you're pregnant. And she's like, how'd you guess? I was like, I'm sorry, dude.
I did that once with a coworker. She's like, she didn't feel good. I go, well, maybe you're pregnant. She goes, well, I am. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah. So like, I'm really like, people say, guess what? I'm like, I don't guess.
What if everything you just said came true? You're like, I don't know. Your dad came back from the dead, and they're like, oh my God, how did you know? And yeah, he's in my trunk. You're like, what the fuck?
He's trying to eat my mother.
Yeah. What? She wasn't too mad about it either. Hey, whoa. We're getting spicy over here in the haircutting chair. I like it.
So his name's Matt Rife?
Yeah, Matt Rife. Yeah, he's great.
Is he based here in Austin?
Yeah, he splits his time between here and LA.
A lot of comedians are kind of doing that.
Yeah.
You chose Austin.
Yes.
You could have chose New York. You could have chose LA. You could have chose Denver, like you said.
So
what's... Is it the Rogan factor?
The fact that Rogan's here is a big deal for, I know, not just me, but for a lot of comics.
Yeah.
Like his club it's great.
Okay.
It's everything a comedy club should be. Like in Denver, you can get on spots, you can get on bar shows. The reason I wanted to go to Denver is because the caliber of comic in Denver is so good.
Okay.
They're known just to have killers. It's crazy, but it's such a tight-knit scene. It's really hard to get in there. I really haven't been there a whole lot, so I'd be kind of like, just pretty much revert back to an open micer, and I've been kind of doing it for too long to want to do that. I mean, I like Texas, A, but B, like the fact that like there are within a mile of each other, there's like 6 clubs.
That's cool.
Yeah, and where you can just go hop on and do spots. And there's 4 on, 6th and 7th Street alone. Like it's
like Red River area, right?
Yeah, so it's like the Sunset Strip, which just opened, which is an absolutely fantastic club.
When you say censorship, I'm like, there's no street called Sunset.
Yeah, right.
I'm thinking LA.
Opened up just down the road from Rogan's Club, so that's great. Then obviously Rogan's, if you can get tickets there, good luck. The Creek in the Cave, which is always a good spot to go.
I thought, which was cool.
Yeah, it was great. And then Vulcan Gas Company still does shows, and then after the stuff dies down at Rogan's, I think they're gonna kind of start doing other shows there again and stuff like that. And then like there's Kingdom, Roscoe's Comedy Club, East Austin Comedy Club, which is really cool. It's like
there's Cap Comedy Club.
Yeah, so Cap City Comedy Club. That's up north of the Domain. That club is fucking amazing too.
Is that more like national terrain kind of?
Yeah, it's more of like Nash. They have 2 rooms there. There's a big room and a small room. It's a lot like Rogan's, and it's just nationally touring comics will go there, and it's just another great club. You know what I mean?
Obviously, I don't know enough about this, and it's just like from an outside perspective,
right?
It just feels like I don't even think so. That like there's this like opportunity of a possible like gold rush of comedy here.
Yeah.
Because it's like such an untapped market compared to the other heavy hitters, it sounds like.
Yeah.
The big ones like LA, New York,
right?
And then you have, you have like, I mentioned Chicago probably has.
Chicago's got a great scene.
Yeah. They have that comedy troupe that they do.
The Second City, yeah.
I'm imagining that like, you have somebody who comes like a Rogan,
right?
Kind of redirects some of the spotlight over here. And it feels like, why would you not want to go someplace that has a lot more potential?
Yeah.
It's like the gold rush. It's like, look, there's gold in these hills.
Right. So one of the reasons why a lot of comics are coming here is because Rogan has said multiple times, he opened this club for comics to get better. Like he's like, that's the only reason why this club is open is so comics can get better at comedy. And and so my friends can come and do stand-up. Have you and your buddies ever talked about like, dude, if I ever strike it rich, I'm going to just buy a bar and all my friends can drink free or whatever. Like, right? Maybe that's just me and my alcoholic friends, but
oh no, I have things like if I there'd be things I would do with my friends for sure.
Right? Yeah. So I've had this thing with my friends. Like, dude, if I ever become rich, I'm gonna buy a little bar in our hometown, and it's gonna be the shit, and it's gonna be awesome. That's what he's doing. He's just like, dude, I like Austin. And I want to stay here, and I want my friends to come here. So I'm going to build a comedy club, and my friends are going to come here and do comedy.
That would be like me probably wanting to build like a music venue. So my friends,
exactly,
and all the bands I love would be able just to come in and
yeah. And you don't care about money. You don't care about pay the fucking bands. Great. And the staff's awesome.
Yeah, it'd be a place the size of emos.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, oh, Smashing Pumpkins are playing.
Right.
Like massive bands. But like, whatever, we'll pay double. Just
come hang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
See how it's more square?
Oh yeah. I feel like a newscaster. I like it though.
Okay.
I feel like I got a good credit score. I feel like my wife isn't gonna leave me. Like this just in. This guy got a brand new haircut. How you doing?
Credit score is good.
This just in. Just got a 250 credit score. How you doing? Is that good? I don't know. Anyway.
No, it's 4.
Is it?
250 is horrible. Fuck. You better start hustling.
Halfway there. Am I going bald?
No.
Sick. Take that. All the women who said I was going bald. Who said that was this? I don't know. My ex-girl one time, I've never heard that.
How about this? I'm gonna fuck with you. You're not going bald here. I don't know what your hairline looked like 5 years ago. Oh, that could be a changing thing.
I've always had a super high hairline. It's like you're. Yeah, it's like
well, you're not going bald. You're measuring what they call male pattern.
Yeah. No, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's always been 4 fingers. Boom. I was dating this girl, but she would just be like, "You're going balls." I'm like, "What?"
Got like a Tourette's kind of thick.
Yeah, I think she thought she was being funny, and I was like, "The fuck did you just say to me?" Every barber I go to now, I'm like, "Hey, am I going bald?" And they're like, "No, what the fuck?"
No, if you're not going bald, you're fine. Heck yeah, nothing to worry about. I wouldn't worry about it one bit.
Hell yeah,
I'm down to that one spot.
What'd you say? Except for this giant patch here.
One spot. Dude, I've actually seen crazy patches where and it's happened more often in like teenage kids.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean crazy patches?
Like bald spots.
Oh, wow.
And it's not like an alopecia where like it's like it's happening in here, then it will happen here.
Yeah.
It's almost always coinciding with these kids. And like when I talk to them, I can't say it 100% because it sounds rude, but like, you know, by what they're talking about with their school.
Right.
And like all the extracurricular activities, they have no choice of participating in it.
Oh, and it's like a stress bald spot.
Yeah. And I don't know if like they're picking at it. Like that one kid who picked his eyebrows off on the intro with fun.
That was great. Come on, dog, pound me. Come on, get in there, fist me, dog.
And they go on the line.
On the line. He's like, and then look at that. Oh, we're throwing him back. We're having fun. Oh, we're talking about programming. Yeah, it's just like, Jesus, dude.
If there's like celebrities I would want to have a beer with or just hang out.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn is like on that list. I imagine the version we see of him is just him.
Yeah.
And just like 210.
Right.
Like normal day 7.
Right.
One of my buddies randomly met him years ago at what was it? I think he met him backstage at a porn concert.
And I was like, what was it like? He's like, oh, he was so interested in it. Like, so what do you do? What do you do? Like, I do movies. But what do you do? Like, what do I do? Like, he was like saying all this like random stuff.
So cool, dude.
Really interested in like what they were doing.
Dude, I want to meet Vince Vaughn now.
Oh, like Vince Vaughn, that's awesome. Vince Vaughn, that's shit, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, what? He's like, I do movies. Like, yeah, I know Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, sometimes there's those guys that I've randomly met at concerts that are like that. They're like really just super awesome.
Yeah.
And like, you're like, okay. And then after that, I'm like a fan of them as an actor.
Right. Oh, dude, you wanna hear a fun story?
I do. Love story.
Can you name all the guys in the Backstreet Boys?
Nope. Well, honestly, just Timberlake.
Yeah.
And Fatale.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay.
So one of them is Chris Kirkpatrick.
Yeah. It wasn't. I don't know.
I thought he's the one that dreads.
Yeah. Anyway,
I didn't like that.
So I was in Nashville doing some shows with Josh Wolf. It was kind of a weird time because Josh lived there for a while, so he knows all like the celebrities there, and all like the country music, and like all the
there's so many country music.
Yeah, so many like famous country, like just musicians in general,
and they're like everywhere.
Yeah,
apparently.
So he's like telling me stuff. He's like, yeah, Kid Rock might stop by. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? My hero? My name is Kid. Yeah, dude. Dude, what if that's how he entered every room? We're like, Mr. Rock, please, this is a hearing. Okay, anyway, so I'm your lawyer and you're getting divorced. But so I was like about to go on stage and before I go on stage, I like stretch and I like hype myself up. I'll like slap my thighs and shit. And like I'm like getting excited. So
Tony Robbins of you.
Yeah, very Tony Robbins of me. Before I would wrestle, before I would like do anything, I would be like, because he gets you in that mindset, right?
Yeah, I get it, man.
So this one dude was just like, I was in the back, dude. There was guys from Little Big Town, maybe that was the band. I don't know. But they were in there. They were really cool. And I could just tell they're like everybody in there was kind of important or whatever. And I was about to go up, and this dude saw me getting like hyped up, and he was like rubbing my shoulders, and like he's like slapping me on the back, and I'm like, yeah, dude. So then I go up, have a good set, and I come out. I was like, who is that guy? And he goes, I can't remember what he said. He's like, NSYNC? I was like, yeah. He goes, that was one of the members. I was like, fucking what, dude? I was like, well, fucking who was that? Dude, it was fucking crazy. I was like, dude, if I was a 14-year-old girl in 2004, I'd be fucking pumped right now.
I would actually think it'd be really cool to like talk to those guys.
Yeah, they have to have a kind of a crazy life.
Well, absolutely crazy life. But then, and here's the thing: is like they were so popular, so big, so big that they became like the target for so much like dislike as well.
Yeah, so it's like Nickelback.
Yeah. So,
whoa, what was that face all?
No, I was thinking about that. I was like, I never thought about comparing Nickelback. I mean, Nickelback gets to be the butt of a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
So like millions of records.
Yeah, they're great.
Yes. I just remember I was at one of the MTV Snowden party things, right, up in California. And we're in this bar that we should not be in, my drummer and I. And sure enough, who the fuck is right there? Carson Daly.
Whoa. Yeah. Bit of TRL?
TRL, okay. It's like 99-ish. No, 2000. I just remember I went up to him and I was like, hey, man, I know you're not picking out the videos. It's not you who's doing it.
Yeah.
You just have to introduce him. And he had this huge sigh of relief. He's like, dude, if it's up to me, I'd be playing like more Korn or Limp Bizkit and this, that.
Yeah.
Would you be playing all the
hot shit. Like he was so excited to like have somebody.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy. And I keep thinking like, because he was saying how he would get hate now.
Yeah.
Because people are like, I can't believe he can play all this shit. Like pick better stuff or whatever it was. When you're that popular, like, you know, it's not all sunshines.
No, yeah. A lot of the time it's not great. You know what I mean?
It totally. I mean, the only people I can think of who would have anything to say of that in the last like recent like 20 years would be like Bieber.
Yeah, Bieber's probably. I saw him at Coachella one time. That was wild. Just like walking around. I was like, what the fuck? That Justin Bieber?
Yeah, it was great. Katy Perry once like sat next to my friend and I like in the VIP area. So like, do you want to sit here? And I'm not kidding. At first glance, I thought it was Zooey Deschanel.
They look so much alike, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Zoe. And I was like, oh, it's Katy Perry.
Yeah, like
Not now. Look.
Yeah.
They're both beautiful.
Right.
But I've always thought, you know, I'm a married man.
Sure.
But I remember being
subtle. Yeah.
I remember being single going, Zooey Deschanel.
Yeah, dude. One day, maybe, dude. Never, ever. Not ever gonna happen.
But at that moment, I was like, here's my, my chance.
They're like, hi, Katie. you're like, oh my God, it's fucking Katy Perry. Hi. Actually, those seats are taken. They're like, what?
It's empty grass.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah, I claimed it.
Yeah, actually, that's my friend's in the bathroom. He'll be back in a minute. You don't want to be here when he gets back. He's not nice. And you're like, whoa, dude. Fucking being mean to Katy Perry. That's crazy.
Yeah, the funny thing is, it was my roommate, and my roommate, he's not that he is. He's just my former roommate. So my roommate at the time is gay, still gay.
Tight.
But I remember he looked at me, he's like, Zooey Deschanel. And I'm like, yeah, he's like, I might have to fight you for it. And I was like, I am not losing to you, buddy.
Yeah.
Like you have dudes always hitting you up.
Yeah.
Let me have this one.
Right.
And then he was just like, Like,
yeah, he's like, okay.
I was like, we're going to be fighting over this. Like,
yeah, I was like, I'm not fighting over.
I never thought I'd be fighting over anybody with my.
Yeah, dude. This looks good.
Look, man,
I like it a lot.
Cool. All right, so let's get this beer
Okay.
going. So, what do you?
You know, if you just take it down with the clippers and just leave, I would just like maybe like trim the mustache, make it look nice. I don't know, just like shape it.
So we're thinking. Okay, so first off, I'm going to go through and clean this all up.
Yeah,
really nice and clean, and then look up. So then we'll go through and clean this up nice first. So we'll go through and just get the perimeter.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay? I'm imagining we want everything from here and this shorter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited, dude. I've never had like my beard or mustache ever like fucked with. I'm fucking stoked right now.
I noticed on your Instagram that you do leather work.
Yes.
Have you always had like a passion for like leather stuff? Because I need you to make me a wallet.
Oh yeah. No, I'd love to make you a wallet. You know, dude, not really. I haven't always had a passion for it. Just like,
but like I saw the thing you carved out from like some belt or something.
oh yeah.
How did that happen? Like right now in my head, I'm thinking like, all right, so here's Maverick.
Right.
Doing comedy.
Yeah. Handsome. Comedy, welding. All around
Male child actor.
Okay, well, all right.
That's what it.
There was a writer strike.
Because you told me it that way. That's
Yeah.
You got your welding certificate.
Yeah.
You're doing stand up, and then you make these really intricate designs.
Yeah.
On leather, which I wouldn't even know where to start.
So,
And I'm like, that seems cool to me.
yeah. You know what's funny? There's a band in town called Nether Hour. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
No.
They're like a jam band. They're really cool. But I've gotten to know the dudes in the band pretty well.
Yeah.
And I want to make all three of them custom guitar straps.
Oh, cool.
And I just finished the second one yesterday and gave it to the dude.
Oh, rad.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's fun. Yeah, so this thing is literally for shaving faces. Because I'm not a barber, I'm not licensed to use a straight razor at shaving.
Cool.
So, yeah, but this just gets really, really short. And it won't take it like here. Like you have to clip it with like a trimmer.
Yeah.
And it has to be microscopic almost.
No shit.
Like, I mean, you can feel the difference.
Yeah, it feels
like I shaved you.
Yeah, it feels nice.
Yeah.
I like that way more.
Yeah. What's cool about this is that it's just like one single little ridge.
Yeah.
Some of them are a lot wider, so it's nice to do little lineups like this. Like you could touch this up like every day,
and your skin's not going to get irritated.
Oh, yeah. So how I got into it was I used to rodeo in high school and college.
Okay.
A big thing in rodeo is like custom leather work.
Okay.
Like custom tack,
Chaps.
custom chaps, yeah, stuff like that. And it's actually shap.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, a lot of people don't. That's okay.
So can I have you commission assless ones?
All shaps are assless, actually.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Extra assless.
Okay. I like your style, dude. Hey, put that down. Let's talk. Let's talk business. Turn this camera off.
No, I just remember somebody who who rode motorcycles, and they'd have the leather one.
Yeah.
And I remember a guy make a couple like, oh, the assless chaps, and he literally said,
Yeah.
the same. All chaps are ass.
Or assless. Yeah. I've made a bunch of rodeo shaps. They're like one of my favorite things to build.
This is probably going to be the worst part to talk, so we're not going to talk right now. We're just going to patiently not move while I go through and create the line. All right, cool. Now that we got that.
Okay. No, yeah. That's, I mean, it's going to be a perfection.
Yeah, you can talk now. You can talk. I'm just going to go through and just shave stuff.
Yeah, hours. You know, when I was rodeoing, I could never really afford like custom leather work because it is a little expensive. And depending on who does it, I was like, man, I've always wanted to do that. That sounds really cool. So I was like, you know what? I want a custom belt. Well, it started out with I just wanted a custom belt, and
Yeah.
So I started hitting up some friends who do leather work. I was like, hey man, how much is and I'm just such a cheap ass. They're like, oh, it's this much. And I was like, yikes. I wanted to do it for like 4 years. But so a buddy of mine makes stuff for guys that go to the NFR. And his belts are like $700-800.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But they're like,
That's more than I thought it would be.
yeah, but they're like beautiful.
I know, but I was just thinking like $400 or $500, so I'm not like far off, but
Yeah, that's like what mine costs.
okay.
$400-500, depending on
The complicated
right.
design work. And I was like really hard as I'm to like talk and have this buzzer right here. I hate your neck.
A little bit. So I was like, all right, dude, I was like, how hard can it be to make it? And so I went to this place called Tandy Leather that, they sell all that stuff. And I was like, and I ended up buying a bunch of stuff, and it turned out to be like $300. And I was like, fuck it, I guess I'll make it. So I made my first belt, and it was dog shit. And I was like, all right, well, I already bought all the tools. I might as well keep going. Just over time and learning and, kind of figuring stuff out and getting smaller, jobs or whatever, I learned how to do it, and I really enjoyed doing it. And now, I mean, I love it. And it's when I'm actually not welding, like when I'm laid off from welding or, that's like all I do. And it's great, man. I love it a lot.
Now, because nobody ever carries like cash, and I just believe in always carrying some cash.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need to carry thousands of dollars.
No.
I always said like, look, 5 $1 bills, 2 5s, 2 10s,
Yeah.
2 20s, right? Like what you would ever get like a Monopoly.
Yeah.
I just like money flips, but I also like to hold the credit cards. And all the fancy looking money clip things aren't actually money clips now. They're just a place to hold credit cards.
Right.
I can't tell if it's pulling any of your facial hair or not.
Oh, no.
Like when I do this to myself, I'm quite aggressive.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's going to be like some barber who's going to like watch this and say I'm doing it all wrong.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's inevitable.
Yeah.
There's always some fucking keyboard warrior out there like, dude, fuck, this guy's not even using the Johnson technique. What a fucking idiot. You know, like the what, dude? Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to be like, okay, well, whatever. All right, dude. And go ahead and ask me if I give a fuck, dude.
It's so funny because somebody asked me today like what my favorite movie is, and like without hesitation, I was like Big Lebowski.
Oh yeah, great movie.
And so I'm always like when somebody's like starts talking like keyboard warriors,
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, that's like
your opinion, man. Yeah, dude. Dude, Jeffrey just gives that line so good. He's like, yeah, that's just like your opinion, man, or whatever. It's the fucking best, dude.
I heard that those were his own clothes for the role.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Like they said, bring some stuff in, and like he just brought in like random stuff, and they said he's like, wait, it's all stuff I own. And I was like, I bet you Jeff Bridges is more like the Lebowski character
Than any other character, yeah.
that he's played.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The growth patterns change. So I want to make sure that I'm getting everything. I want to ask you a question, but I don't want to be the person who's like the dentist where you go and they're like, so what have you been up to? Open wide.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, dude, it's always all the way.
thanks. So do you have anything coming up soon?
I have a headline and set Friday.
Where's that at?
Lakeview?
Okay.
I don't know where that's at. I just moved here.
Either do I, man. Okay, so like what I've found out is like there's Lake View and there's Lake Way.
Oh, it might be Lake Way.
What I've known so far is I always get the wrong one in the wrong area. And apparently it offends people.
Oh, really?
I don't know why.
It's like a rift between Lake Way and Lake Bay or whatever the fuck.
It was like that, and I got feeling, and I don't know why. From what somebody said, it sounds like it may come from high school rivals.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Give me like tips for making the mustache grow better.
Well, explain better.
Just thicker, fuller.
I think either you have a thick, highway patrol mustache that could also moonlight as a pilot.
Yeah.
Or you don't,
Right.
I think what you could do, because like I just didn't touch any of that, right? I'm just trimming what's hanging over your your lip. I think that if you were to just keep trimming the bottom of this and not putting clippers on the whole thing, what's going to happen is this stuff is going to get longer.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a client of mine, and he has a very distinguished, large mustache.
Yeah.
But the top of the hair here, which always tickles my nose when it's just growing out, is actually all the way down. Like all of it has grown.
Oh, wow.
To that. So that, I think, is when you start looking at individual, like a really like well-groomed, thick mustache.
Yeah.
The top hair is actually long. They're not taking like clippers and clipping it down. They're like brushing it and then they're just cleaning this up.
Oh, wow.
So that would be like my advice to you is to not take clippers or beard trimmer to your mustache. It's to brush it down, clean up whatever's on the lip.
Yeah.
And then you're that much closer to Sam Elliott.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll just do that.
Okay, so round brushes are awesome. Okay. They stretch out a little bit of that wave. Okay. So a little bit of that height. So you don't need to have the attachment like this, and then you just need to be able to take the top part, and you're still a little down. Oh, what you want to do is just want to do it low and slow. So you don't need to turn the hairdryer on crazy speeds, because it will that will go through and create more frizz in your hair. Possibly, yeah. Pick up the hair and you just lift it up. And you don't need to do your whole head. I'll show you where I would stop. And now I'm just going to use my hand, lift that up. Ooh. And then so see how you get a little bit of that eye up in through here?
Oh, yeah.
And because you have a lot of cowlicks here in the back, like I'm not saying you really want to do that. So right here on that part, your hair goes up. And then it comes down, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, that would be the one thing you'd want to do is take that brush right on that part, and then you're going to get that volume on that side. Hold on. And then you get some volume. You probably haven't ever had like the hair like this. So, very fun. Yeah, because you have some cowlick. You have another cowlick right here. So I'm just looking to see where that hair wants to fall flat, and I'm just using that brush. Put a bend in it the opposite way.
Yeah.
Is it too hot? Warm. Oh, yeah. It's like building something, right? It's like, it takes a lot longer to build up a building than it does to tear it down. So when you put product in, you're not trying to make it this big.
Yeah.
Once you put product, it's going to fall. And not to mention the humidity here in Texas. Oh, yeah. Also going to like change it. And you're like, this is the biggest. I like it, dude. You do?
Yeah. Cool, man. More at 10. How you doing?
Yeah. Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
He was hysterical. I used to love in the year 2000 or year 2000. And the year 2000.
Yeah.
And then like, it was always, it seemed like when John Lovitz was on.
Yeah.
Those two were just like,
dude,
John Lovitz's voice is fucking funny.
Yeah, he's kind of talks, says that little bit of a
nasally.
Yeah.
Well, you shut up. That cartoon, The Critic.
Oh yeah, dude, he's the best, dude. Yeah, John Lovitz is the shit.
Does he still do live?
Yeah, a buddy of mine opened for him a couple years ago. He's doing great. He's crushing.
I don't know why I just thought of that guy. I always thought. Yeah.
And John Lovitz, piece of shit, owes me $10,000, dude.
Where's that from?
Nothing.
He does.
Yeah, he owes me 10 grand.
No, that's a thing I do with other comics. Usually I do it with comics I know. You're just like you. Like I'm like, hey man, what's going on? And we just so happen to know each other too. Mm-hmm. And then you know Dean.
Yeah.
And it comes up in conversation like, oh, you know Dean Stanfield? I'm like, yeah, that owes me $10,000, that piece of shit. And you're like, what? I'm like, yeah. You're like, for what? I'm like, porn. He's got a porn addiction, dude. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Dean Stanfield owes me, Maverick McWilliams, 10 grand. And they're like, okay. And you're like, yeah, next time you see him, tell him.
That's funny.
It's fucking hilarious, dude. I do it specifically with one comic here in town. And every time I see him, I told another person he owed me $15,000. He goes, dude, stop doing that. And I was like, no way, bitch.
That's funny.
I'm doing it for forever, dude.
I think it's hysterical.
It is funny. Yeah, I like it a lot.
My friends and I, as hairdressers, we, for a while, we had like a little group chat, and then we would just post horrible haircuts that we saw when we were traveling.
Hell yeah.
We'd start like sending things to you like, hey man, I saw your client in the airport of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Horrible haircut, like extensions are barely hanging on for dear life.
Yeah.
And it looks like, the back of their head got pulled into like an escalator or something. I don't actually look at people's haircuts and go, oh, I could do that better.
Yeah.
I look at haircuts and go, I think the hideous ones stand out to me. Like a decent one or a good one, I never pick up on.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so good looking. This is crazy, dude. I'm a good looking man.
Yeah, there you go. This haircut complements the straw jawline.
No, good jawline, good voice. How you doing? Maverick McWilliams, running for local mayor of Buda, Texas. How you doing? No Bud Light, no problem. Not in our fucking town. You know what I mean? I feel like that's some shit that would happen in Buda.
I can only imagine what it was like when that whole PR incident went down at the comedy clubs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I can only imagine the amount of jokes. So, like, I don't watch any late night TV, one.
Right.
Just never.
And you're also not 86 years old, you know?
Honestly, like, there's only a few of those late night guys that I really enjoyed. And it was, like, my favorite two, and maybe it just happened to be because they had bands that I liked more, was, like, Conan O'Brien and David Letterman.
Yeah. Conan was the shit, dude. That sucks that he went off there. Have you listened to his podcast at all?
I haven't.
I guess he got a podcast. Apparently that's pretty good. I don't know. I need to listen to it.
I feel like Conan O'Brien's humor keeps a lot of what I find funny.
Right. I love what he's mean to his intern. It's one of my favorite things, dude.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, he had like a bit for a while that was like, he was like, this is my intern. She doesn't do anything. And it's just, it's just that he's just roasting the shit out of her the whole time.
I always liked it when like the guest would take the conversation into like a rogue spot.
Yeah.
Where he was clearly uncomfortable.
Right.
And he would always find a way to like pivot at his expense because he knew like where the guest was taking it was like going to go into a territory where like it would probably be bad for the guest or something. And he just always did like a good job at that.
Yeah.
I always laughed because I was like, this guy's throwing himself.
Dude, the best interviews are with Norm Macdonald. They're the fucking best, dude. Norm is just like doing like 1950s, like take my wife jokes. And Conan's just like, what are you doing, Norm? You know, it's the best, man.
Well, Norm Macdonald's is great.
Yeah, dude, fucking rest in peace, dude.
Yeah, he was good. He was just something else. So you like your hair?
I love it, dude. Looks great. Probably the best haircut I've ever gotten.
I hope so.
How you doing? Hi. How you doing? Maverick McWilliams. It was nice to meet you.
Cool.
Dude, is that your actual government name? Yeah, government issued name, Maverick McWilliams, man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure people give you lots of like Top Gun references.
All the fucking time, dude.
It's annoying.
It's annoying. So when I was in boot camp for the Navy,
this whole time and talked about also, and the Navy feels like it would pop up at some point.
Yeah.
Like in all of this, the Navy never was a part of
never once. Yeah. So like they found out, my drill instructors found out my name was Maverick, and they're like I was just out there like cleaning the compartment one day, and my drill instructor's like, McWilliams. I'm like, yeah. And I run over there. He's like, is your name Maverick? And I was like, yeah. He goes, dude, get on your face. And they made me do push-ups for like,
because of your name.
Yeah, just so my name was Maverick. And then when I was done, they're like, it's the stupidest fucking name I've ever heard. I was like, okay, I gotta go, dude. It was wild. Boot camp was a trip, dude. It was crazy. Yeah, good times.
Yeah, I have some friends that are former Marines.
Nice. Well,
And hearing the stories about boot camp,
yeah, dude.
It's rough. I mean, I think any boot camp is rough.
Yeah, except like the booty boot camp ones that they do in like the park. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's not a boot camp.
well, it's advertised as one tab. So,
Well, you know, from my intel that I've heard, it is not near the memorable experience that leaves a lifelong impact of some scarring.
Yeah.
An emotional.
oh, tell me about it, dude. Yeah, that's funny, man. But no, yeah, dude, I love the haircut. You're a master of your craft. man.
Thanks. And then you gotta let me know when you're playing.
Yeah. So this
That's the end of this Friday. I didn't make it this Friday.
Oh no, that's cool. No, it's all right.
But do you like put everything on?
Yeah, on my Instagram, I got some shows coming up next week.
You have like a website too, or is it just Instagram?
I have a website. I don't update it enough. I'm not getting enough work right now to update it. Like when I was in Oklahoma, I was getting work all the time, so I can update it. But
What's your Instagram?
it's just Maverick_McWilliams.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm gonna post that right here. Wait. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's gonna go there.
It's right here. There it is. Right there.
do.
That's fantastic.
I'm having fun interacting with the camera.
Yeah.
It's like a random
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's fun, dude. Yeah, you can just look at it. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, well, Dean was doing that.
Yeah, dude. This
I was watching the video of Dean.
Yeah.
Dean would like I'd be like cutting hair or grabbing something, and he would just like look and go,
yeah,
like just like he wouldn't even do that. He would just like lift his eyes up with like those blue eyes, just like stare
Yeah,
at the
dude.
camera. Like,
yeah. And he's a fucking trip, dude. I love that guy. He's one of my favorite people.
I would love to like have drinks with all of y'all just because.
Oh yeah. When Dean's drinking again, we'll all go out and fucking tie one on. It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Wolf. Yeah. Well, you know, make sure you don't have anything to do the next day because
I will make sure I have nothing to do.
when we go hard. And make sure you know where your kids are too, because you'll just wake up in a pond. You know what I mean? And you're gonna be like, "What the fuck? Where's my phone? I don't know where my kids are at right now."
Well, I'm going to bars with my kids. There's a lot of bigger issues going on at that point.
Yeah, my nephew just got kicked out of a bar today. Actually,
How old is your nephew?
5 months old.
Wow.
My sister took him into a bar, got kicked out. In dog years, they are. Am I right or am I right? No? Yeah?
No.
Touch it. It was already up there. All right. Let me get that.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.